How's it going, guys? My name is Eric Van. Corpses are meant to be driven on, and welcome back to Corpse Party Blood Drive. In the last episode, we did the prologue. There were some new characters, but people have mentioned to me that the new characters, some of them were introduced in the other side games, like Sachiko's birthday, whatever it's called. I'm not too familiar with it. And then there's Dead Patient, which is Corpse Party 2, which happens like 5 years after the events of all of the Corpse Party 1 events. So yeah, I don't know that stuff though, so oops. Also, some connections I didn't make is that lady in the apartment who's like, don't go, don't go, don't go. She is like the same lady that is in chapter 3 of Book of Shadows in Yui's past that tells her not to go to the school to get her lucky pencil. So yeah, I should have made that connection. I was thinking that, but I was like, I'm not gonna comment on it because I'm probably wrong. What do you know? Who's right? Holy shit! Anyways, let's just start chapter 1. Returning. Oh no, we're gonna return to Heavenly Host. I knew it was gonna happen at some point though, but geez, la bombe de bees. Seriously? I'm not ready. Okay, light, change to my face. There you go. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready to go to Heavenly Host yet. Okay, good, we're not there yet. A day had passed since the events at Shimorenjaku South Apartments. Geez, starting out with the big words. This was to be a significant turning point for me, and Mochida might have been a part of it from the start, except that fate seemed to have other plans for him.
今日は大事な用があって。
ダメ。サトシ君、昨日の大気の小テスト、ちょっと残念な点数だったでしょ?
Embarrassing? Come on, you're a teacher. Don't say it was embarrassing. That's mean, okay? You know her big long ponytail that's coming down? It looks like a cat tail for a second. I was like, is that like a cat girl? That doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm just going crazy. Like an owner training a puppy, Kuan gave him a strong glare and held up her index finger in reprimand.
今から1時間、私の授業に集中しなさい。そうしたら、次の小テストも解けるようになるから。
You can personally lecture me if you want to, if you have that smile on your face. I'm gonna give you a lecture. Let's learn algebra. Oh god, that's so cute. I want to pinch your cheek, okay, little cat lady. In my mind, she's a cat lady.
先生って英語科でしょ？大気なんて専門外じゃ。
Whatever, teachers know a lot, okay? I'm good at math. I was teaching some of my Korean students. I taught English in Korea, but some of my Korean students were staying after school to study math. There was no teacher there, and I taught them math in Korean. It was crazy. It was crazy. That was a cool experience in my life.
一生懸命教えるからできるよ。
Although, I mean, it was like elementary math, though. It wasn't algebra. She seemed a little taken aback by that remark, puffing up her cheeks like a chipmunk in protest. Yeah. Oh, she's so cute! Kuan sensei.
Yui sensei そっくりだな。ごめんなさい。
I tried to make it so the voices were louder, although I tweaked the settings a little bit. I should have made the voices even louder. Looking both bemused and guilty, Mochida tried to get up and leave his seat in one swift motion, but he was quickly and easily caught, lifted up, and forcefully sat back down. Ho ho! He survived Heavenly Host, but he cannot survive the wrath of Kuan Sensei!
ダメ。
Oh, Kuan Sensei, there's more to you than meets the eye. Miss Kuan was smiling. She was actually enjoying this. I would enjoy it. Miss Kuan was only the slightest bit taller than Mochida. What? It looks like he's taller than her. This did make her taller than the average, but her arms were small and frail. There seemed to be no way she could possibly have lifted someone of his build. That's right, I knew it. There's more than meets the eye. This whole situation was rather bewildering for him, and he made no attempt to hide his confusion.
さあ、始めるよ。
Yeah, something wrong is going on with her. She took Yui's place. So Heavenly Host replaced her maybe, or something. A minion of Heavenly Host. He had no other option. Apparently he was going to be studying algebra for the next hour, come hell or high water. Whatever. Study algebra, it'll help you. Maybe this algebra... Oh hey, this looks like the cafe that Naho and her friend was in chapter 4 of Book of Shadows. Why can't I remember her name? I remember Naho and her friend, whatever it was. That was a really sad chapter. At a local cafe near the school, Kishinuma and I were sitting down to speak with Aiko Niwa, the informant who'd led my friends to me the previous night. Oh, Ayumi, don't cry! Not yet! Not yet. Yeah, the voices are so quiet. This is so weird. The BGM is like at 40% and the voice is at 100%. I just don't get it. I responded with a dismissive gesture while continuing to rub my abdomen with my other hand. Ever since the previous night, I'd had this constant, unbearable urge to pee. What? This game... I don't know, this game just really focuses on peeing, you know? I don't know what it is. Yeah, well, welcome to Yuka's world. Maybe Yuka was experiencing a similar thing to you or when she was complaining about the bathroom. Even though she could have easily gone in a corner. I'll never forget that. Aiko tilted her head and stared at me, looking me up and down, seemingly judging my every mannerism, my every movement. That's okay, she's just checking you out. It was making me feel rather self-conscious. I covered my abdomen with both hands as if guarding it from her gaze. God, Ayumi's so small. Not that that's a bad thing, it's just... Compared to all the other characters, she's so tiny. She looks like she's like 3 or 4 years younger. Kishinuma and I stared at one another, still unsure how to feel about this strange new addition to our entourage.
Ayumi-chan, Kishinuma-kun. あなたたちって天神小学校の生還者よね?
That's right, Aiko. Let's just see. People named Aiko, they just get right down to business. That's why I like them. Aiko, it's my favorite Japanese name from now on. Oh, we'd pledged never to discuss Heavenly Host with anyone else, which we'd always assumed would be an easy promise to keep. But now, casually and out of the blue, here we were. Well, look at her clothes. She looks like she's into rituals and stuff like that. I don't think she's part of the Wiccan Institute, though. The WI. We learned about that last time. Oh, you see Yoshiki, he's like, that's it. Crossing the arms. We're gonna get down to business. Oh, well, that's interesting. So it's touched by the Ever After. So there's probably a lot of different Ever Afters. It says Heavenly Host is like an instance of another world. There could be all kinds of other worlds out there. All kinds of charms. Both Kishinuma and I were speechless. I just sat there staring at my palm, subconsciously trying to see my aura, I guess. Oops, sorry, I just... Aiko was smiling at us triumphantly. Oh yeah, I forgot she's a friend of Naho's though. Oh, trust is immediately out the window. Oh yeah. Oh, trust is definitely out the window. She's got that kind of dead look in her eyes like, yeah, I told her about that. Oh, that's creepy. The true source of the deaths and subsequent erasures, I'm smart, that had turned our lives into a living nightmare was the Sachiko Ever After ritual posted on Naho's occult blog. I'd been a fan of Naho's for quite some time, so when I saw that, I knew I had to try it out with my friends from Class 2-9, and as a result, half of those friends were now gone. So in other words, it ripples down right back to you, Aiko. Aiko told Naho, Naho informed us, Ayumi informed everyone else, and we all did it, and people died. Yeah, we know all about that. We met her in there. Yeah, what? Ayumi, you didn't meet her in there? Was it only Satoshi that met her in there? I thought, okay, whatever, I forget. Wow, your clients, huh? That perks my interest. Okay. Okay. Physically, Aiko is a very attractive young lady. Lady, that's what we call attractive ladies now. They're ladies. But personality-wise, the jury was still out. Her words were calculated and emotionless, her true intentions a mystery. That's how Naho sounded in Heavenly Host. She was a little bit different outside Heavenly Host, obviously, but that really creeped me out when she was all like happy and giddy with her friend, and I can't believe I can't remember her name! She was awesome, she was one of my favorite new Book of Shadows characters. Oh, yeah, how could you say that with a smile, Aiko? You're creeping me out. You're giving all other Aikos a bad name.
ちゃん、これで響先生の小説がなんとか賞を取れるってすごくはしゃいでた。ねえ、教えてくれる？あなたたちの閉じ込められたあの異空間に、ナホちゃんはいた？
Yeah, she
ナホ
was.
さんは
Naho.
響先生と一緒に亡くなっていました。
Yeah, they did. Well, they know that, yeah. I looked down as I answered. Despite everything she'd done, the memory of Nao's passing was still painful for me. She'd become one of Heavenly Host's lost souls and gone completely berserk. In the end, I was the one who finished her off.
そう、やっぱりね。
Aiko seemed completely unaffected by this revelation. Her tone remained even and her expression cold and distant. Well, she is, I mean, she's cold and distant, but at the same time, you know, she might still be good. She's just like, because she deals with this world all the time, she keeps a neutral understanding of it. And she doesn't get emotionally involved, because you can't. Then you'll end up like Naho. Because I think the more emotionless you are, the less that, like, the ghosts and otherworldly things can kind of take you over. Because when emotions get involved, people start making mistakes. Honestly, I'd had about enough of her by this point. She was so devoid of empathy, it was almost offensive. I was genuinely starting to get pissed off. But, you know, she has to. It's the nature of her work, I think.
平気なんですか?
No?
残念だと思うわ。でも予想はついていたから、わざわざ取り乱す必要もないでしょ?
Well, why'd you sell her the info then? Kishinuma continued to stare intently at Aiko with his own brand of cold, emotionless eyes. He was oddly quiet, though. His anger was palpable. I clenched my fist. Oh, Yoshiki's the best. He's gonna mess stuff up.
この子は?
He's gonna tip a chair
おまじ
over.
ないを一緒に行ったと思うんだけど、あっちにはいたかしら?
Aiko showed us a photo of a girl named Sayaka! That's her name! Yeah, and Sayaka was there and she passed away in the basement. Oh my god.
会ってないからわかりません。
Yeah, but I think in the original Corpse Party, they end up happening across her name tag, which means she was dead. Aiko's expression was so unfaltering you could carve it in stone. I couldn't take it anymore. I had to say something. Well, oh no, she's not your friend. Don't cry, Ayumi. My voice was breaking with rage, but even if that hadn't been the case, my face must have read like a book. The icy bitch may have had only one expression, but I sure didn't. This icy bitch. I love it. You're such a bitch.
あら、あなたは客って言葉に対して随分と偏見を持っているのね。取引を行う以上、私はそこに最大の誠意とクオリティを提供する。
Yeah, she does, really. I mean, Naho got what she wanted. Well, not death, but you know, she got what she wanted. The information about Heavenly Host and how to get there.
つまりそれがパートナーとしての信用で、フレンドシップにも負けないものだと思っているけど。
Whoa! Holy jeez, Aiko! Too much information. You're like, I'm a professional. And you know, sometimes friends will backstab you. Yeah, good. Fucking Aiko, shut your trap.
そんなこと。
Shut your friggin' trap, Aiko. I don't like you. You're giving my other Aiko sweethearts a bad name. I had no idea what to say. It seemed like Aiko was used to this sort of thing. Her response felt carefully rehearsed, like a sales pitch. Finally, Kishinuma broke his silence. And come on, tip a chair, dude. Yes.
昨日Shinozakiを助けてくれたことは感謝する。けどよ。金やなんかの見返りのために、そんなろくでもない情報を拡散させるなんて、旗迷惑だと思わねえのか。
He just doesn't beat around the bush. He's like, to you, how can you sleep at night by putting people in danger to pay your bills? That's great.
情報は情報よ。それ自体に罪はないわ。道具と同じ。それをどう使うかは使い手の問題でしょ。
That is true, though. It's true. Naho wanted the info, and she might have got it from another source. She still would have done the same thing.
その気になれば、その辺にあるコップでも人は殺せてしまうのよ。
That's true. Yeah. I've killed a guy with a knife. I mean, a cop.
あなたもそう思う？あゆみちゃん。
Ayumi-chan?
ごめんなさい。私は
あなたの考え方嫌いです。
Yeah, it is irresponsible. I
無責
agree.
任だと思います。
She's too aloof about it. Her expression remained calm and collected overall, but her eyes blinked several times in rapid succession, like this. Kinda like that. It was the first outward sign of emotion we'd seen from her.
やれやれ、ひどい嫌われようね。慣れてるけど悲しいわ。
Well, yeah, look at that smile on your face! You're like, why do people think I'm a villain? Look at that, that's horrible. Aiko quickly shrugged off her sudden outburst and was back to her usual icy self. Yeah, that's cute. That's why this chapter was called, like, The Return or something like that. I already forget. An awkward tension filled the room, or at least our table.
本題に入りましょうか。私があなたたちに近づいた理由。
Oh no, you're gonna tell me about resurrecting our friends, and it's gonna be horrible, isn't it? Aiko produced a thick hardbound file folder from the light blue bag she brought with her. She opened it to reveal several documents of a questionable nature. Among them were what looked to be a family tree, as well as numerous pages featuring black magic symbology or images that looked like tree branches. Black magic spell charts. The Shinozaki family. Oh, hi! How do you have that? That's crazy.
少しショッキングなことを伝えるわね。
Shocking. Maybe electrifying? Aiko was looking directly into my eyes. Now her gaze was fixed, intense and unblinking.
菱沼くんが言ったことだけれど、間違いよ。
I knew it! Heavenly Host is still there! Oh yeah!
天神小学校は壊れてなどいない。今もまだ存在し続けている。
Oh, that's awesome. Of course, we're gonna go back there. More people are gonna die, and the game's gonna end with another very unsatisfying ending. That's I already know it. I can see the future. I can see it. I already know. Aiko placed a black and white photo on the table. It wasn't the clearest of pictures, but there was no doubt that the location it depicted was Heavenly Host Elementary. Well, now that Sachiko's gone out of there, I think maybe like another one of those ghosts will take her place. Another one of the children that were murdered, perhaps. In the picture, a small girl could be seen standing in one of those all too familiar hallways, holding a hatchet in her right hand. Oh my god, I'm getting some serious Higurashi vibes out of this. If you've ever seen Higurashi, you know what I'm talking about. It is.
やっぱり。これは
I thought
私が念写したものよ。力が足りなくて少し不鮮明ではあるけれど、今現在のあの空間。
A thoughtograph, huh? I take a lot of those.
一体どういうことなんですか？
I can't even describe what was going through my head at that moment. I felt like I was about to burst. Aiko, however, remained calm as ever while recounting her story.
順を追って説明するわね。まず、昨日の例の赤い箱だけれど、開けると。
Yeah, tell me what you found. Spill it on the table. The box I'd found on Makina's futon. Inside it were apparently two stones resembling Magatama, comma-shaped ceremonial objects from Japanese antiquity. Magatama, I know that. I've played enough Persona, and I've just seen them all over. The earliest I saw one was an anime called Blue Seed. Yeah, that's right, I'm old. Old anime for the win. God, I don't want to sound like one of those guys. Back in your day, we had good anime. No, I'm just kidding. I love anime now, too. Also included in the box were several more roughly hewn stones, as well as a lining along the edges consisting of crumpled pieces of thin white paper.
残念ながら箱の中でほとんど割れていたけれど、この一組は無事だったわ。
Ooh, hey, it's the blood drive symbol. It's on the logo. They looked almost like a demented version of yin and yang symbols, puzzle pieces that were clearly built to be slotted together. Aiko now held one stone in each hand and was motioning them toward one another as if to drive that point home.
霊具というのはね、簡単に言えば死者の思いが込められたもののことで、
Okay, yeah, that's
物
simple.
に閉じ込められた霊、またはその生前の記憶が持つ者に永遠と泣き言を語りかけてくる愉快なものよ。
Okay.
私はこう見えて無類の霊具コレクターでもあるの。
Yep. Kishinuma and I briefly locked eyes again. We shared the same look of bewilderment. Aiko's personality was much more twisted than either of us had initially
こ
perceived
の
it
子
to
の
be.
意志を読もうとするとね、呪わしい声と一緒におさげの少女や廃校の風景が見えてきたのよ。
Okay.
で、気になったからこのカメラに。
Okay, at this she produced an old instant camera and placed it on the table in front
私
of
の
us.
面を映してみたの。それがその写真。
That's interesting. I wish I could do that.
私がこの霊具を使ってその時の今現在を念写したものよ。過去や未来の時間を超えた念写は私にはできないから。
Okay, so it's guaranteed that Heavenly Host is still there then, because it's not from the past. I examined the photograph in greater detail and a chill ran down my spine. There was absolutely no denying what it depicted. But time is messed up in that world anyways, isn't it? I was actually shaking.
篠崎幸子を失ったあの学校は私たちが逆落ちで脱出した際に崩壊したはず。
Are you sure that's true though?
寸前のところでとどまったってところかしら。私に語りかけてくる声の主がまだいるのかもね。
Oh no, what? No, don't tell me it's someone we know. Aiko motioned toward the photo in my hand.
写真の女の子とか誰かしらね。
Huh. The answer was beginning to dawn on me. A sudden cold sensation exploded through my body and I shuddered, as if trying to shake off the encroaching realization.
あの地獄みたいな場所がまだ存在してるってのかよ。
Kishinuma leaned forward. The conversation was clearly beginning to engage him a lot more than it had been.
その天神小学校、いえ、学校の形をしたあの異空間だけれど、ナホちゃんに紹介した手前、
Of course
私
it
も気になって
fascinated
調
you.
べていたの。
Because you're psycho! Okay, I shouldn't say that.
あの
Eric, don't
異空間
judge
の
people.
正体はね、涅槃という死後の世界に近い磁場なのよ。
What? I began to research it and learned that its true identity is, well, something like a new nirvana. A netherworld and... But it's not really. Nirvana's peaceful and nothingness. Nirvana literally means nothingness, free of all human desire, and you just... you become part of the whole. Doesn't sound like Nirvana to me.
普通はこの世とは別の次元に存在するものなのだけれど。涅槃？
A new Nirvana?
ええ。
Smells like Teen Spirit.
篠崎教えについては知っているわよね。
So funny.
はい。
And old.
篠崎の家、教えの診療所に黒の本と呼ばれる魔導書。
Why? How could she know about that? A million thoughts, a million questions running through my head. That's a lot of million. It'd probably be more like 5 or something. I was speechless. All I could do was sit there and hear her out. Whoa! What is Seiji? Seiji. All I can think about is Seiji from Sakura Beach. It was like a muffled scream or a moan of agony, the sound you make when you want to make a sound but are barely able to. What are you doing? Oh, that one was a little more forceful, accompanied by thrashing. It caused the nearby table light to fall over and roll along the ground. What? This was Yoshie Shinozaki's clinic. And Yoshie herself was on top of her husband, holding him down with both of her hands. She continued her Shinto purification chant. To prevent Seiji from biting off his own tongue, he had been gagged with a towel. Needless to say, he wasn't looking particularly well. Not far from where this was occurring, Sachiko stood aghast, trembling as she watched the proceedings with hesitant, sidelong glances. Wow, she said that really quick. She'd be a really good rapper. I shouldn't laugh at my own stupid jokes. I give your struggle a 6 out of 10. You can struggle more than that, Seiji. Seiji still collapsed on the floor, was clearly suffering. His body was bent into a most unnatural shape, and he was fervently clawing at his neck. Man, if someone gave her a beat, that would sound like an amazing rap. Okay, your struggle's getting a little better, Seiji, but it's still only like a 7.5 out of 10. Whoa! Sachiko's father screamed through his gag, foam beginning to froth out from its edges. He was going into cyanosis. I said that wrong. Ghostly images of Shinozaki women from ages past smiled down upon the event from the ceiling, laughing and mocking his suffering. Oh yeah, that's because they killed all the men in the family! That's right! Worse still, some of the women had traditionally blackened teeth, giving their smiles an unintentionally sinister edge. I want to paint my teeth black. They look really creepy. The atmosphere within the room was heavy, as if spirits occupied every empty corner, dancing and flitting about freely and joyously. Seiji's... Oh, that struggle was... That's better. It's 9 out of 10. Seiji's... No, there wasn't enough gurgle. There needs to be more like... Seiji's body sharply bent and began convulsing. Yoshie, yeah, your hubby's gone.
親の御霊様お願いです連れて行かないでください
That's too bad. Her great-grandmother, Sira, the head of the Shinozaki family, was among the black-teeth women laughing joyously at Seiji's suffering. Well, yeah, Sachiko had a hard life even before she got killed. No, you can struggle better than that. You're back down to 5 out of 10. Seiji, I was expecting a better struggle. His voice began to weaken and his convulsions began to lose strength. Finally, the last spark of life had left his body. His eyes rolled back into his head and all movement ceased.
息してないよ
He's not breathing because he's gone to dog heaven. I don't know why I went to dog heaven, but he'll like it there. There's lots of dogs. Sachiko looked up, eyes glazed over with tears. That's a good sob. Yoshie too was stricken with grief and despair.
霊能力者の血筋篠崎の者と結婚した夫は必ず早々の死を遂げる
So Yoshie was trying to stop that fate, but it didn't work. Obviously.
心ない者たちから守るよう篠崎の家に託されていた禁忌の本に手をつける
Okay, so that's what made her start messing with the book, is because her husband died. The Book of Shadows.
愛する者を失うそのことを恐れるあまり黒魔術に頼ったのまさに高等無形でバカな話よね
Yeah, it was foolish. Ayumi did the same thing.
ヨシエ自身もすがれるものなら何でもいい程度にしか思っていなかったと思うわ
Aiko stared deeply into my eyes, seemingly fishing for a reaction to her tale.
ところがまさか信じられないことが起こる
Well, what happened next? I continued listening, unknowingly stroking the wound on my thigh as unpleasant memories of my own foolish run-in with black magic
ヨ
resurfaced.
シエの体に流れる篠崎の血筋その強い霊力に想像もつかない何かが呼応してしまった
Okay. I instantly knew what she was going to say.
術で本の中から呼び覚まされた何か
Okay, so she created...
死者と共にいられる場所死後の世界を切り取った空間がこの世に生まれてしまったの
Okay.
ヨシエはもう半分正気を失っていたのね一人娘の幸子を現世に残して自分は夫の魂と共に生涯をそこで添い遂げようとした
This is interesting. We're finally getting some information about the creation of Heavenly Host. That's cool.
ところが涅槃には意志がありヨシエの手でコントロールできるものではなかったの
Okay. I knew that all too well. Just like Yoshie, I'd experienced my own tragic failure with black magic at the Shinozaki
黒魔
clinic.
術には障害反動がある夫の魂はバラバラに飛散しヨシエの命も消えかけた自分の愚かな行為を悔やみながら呼吸を止めようとしたその時底なしに霊能力の強い一人娘幸子が涅槃を丸ごと体の中に飲み込んだの
Okay, so Sachiko had an amazing spiritual potential, and that's why she was able to control it.
幸子が
Okay. The poor girl collapsed to the floor, violently thrashing about as the weight of an entire dimension crushed her from the inside. This action had saved her mother's life, certainly, but death would have surely been preferable. Picking herself up, Yoshie rushed to her daughter's side in tears.
さっちゃんあなたお母さん死なないでお母さん
Both parent and child were bawling, pain mixing with relief, mixing with pain again. The little girl buried her face into Yoshie's bosom and just cried and cried. Yoshie grasped her tightly in both arms, tears streaming down her face uncontrollably. By this point, Sachiko's body had begun producing a dark blue
ご
aura.
めんねさっちゃんごめんねお母さん間違ってたお母さんにはあなたがいるわもうあなたを置いていこうだなんて思わないから
Until you guys get killed at school. Oops. I should be reassuring here. I'm sorry, you guys are already sad. I didn't mean it. Good luck
あな
to
た
you
も
both.
知っての通り幸子も篠崎家当主直系の血を引くサラブレッド
Thoroughbreed.
ヨシエを超えるほどの霊能力を持っていたの。
Mmm.
涅槃を丸ごと体内に封じ込めるなんてものすごいことよ。
Wow. Aiko took a big noisy sip from her coffee mug. Wow,
ほ
Aiko,
とん
that's
ど
rude.
最強の霊能者だったんじゃないかしら。まだほんの小さな子供だったけれど。
Sorry, all I can imagine is Aiko right now going like... like that. That's... I really gotta focus on the story.
でもその幸子が死んでしまって。そう。保健医ヨシエの転落事故と同時に幸子が行方不明になった。50年前のあの事
A
故。
long time ago.
あれは校長による殺人事件でし
Yeah,
た。
oops, sorry, my good luck
や
didn't
は
work.
りそうなのね。校長が余計なことをしでかしたおかげで幸子の中に吸い込まれて封印されていた涅槃が復活し。
It's probably because the school was the site of Sachiko's violent demise that her nirvana took on its form.
とはいえ復活した涅槃も資料として蘇った幸子の力で再び抑制されて、やっぱりその支配下に置かれていたようだけれど。幸子がいろんな力を使えたのも、その涅槃の影響だったのかしら。
This was all starting to make a sick sort of sense. The pieces were falling into place and painting an absolutely awful picture. I shuddered to myself as I
現
considered
在
it.
はあなたたちが脱出の際に幸子を取り除いてしまったから、
Why is it going berserk?
再び暴走状態になっているのよ。なくなってしまえばよかったのに。あんな危険な場所。
Yes, it certainly would. Aiko's like, no, I need customers! This entire conversation was a roller coaster of emotions for me. At this point, I was just angry. Angry at everyone involved in this whole ordeal, myself included.
さて、ここで少し突飛な話をするわよ。
Uh,
来てね。
Aiko, don't wink at me! You're creepy! You want me to go back in there, you're
死
creepy.
んだ友達に。
Oh my god, I knew it! Resurrect your friends, dead friends! No! That certainly got our attention. We both perked our heads up
涅槃で
immediately.
死んだ霊は成仏できずに囚われ続けるというわ。お友達の魂だって
Yeah.
まだあそこにいるかもしれない。
That's exactly what we want to see. We just want to see our friends running around angrily, all like warped and twisted, like, I'm gonna kill you. That's what we want to see.
実はね、黒の本、ブックオブシャドウズには
Oh, I
いろん
know.
な魔術が書かれているの。
We saw some. It didn't
ヨ
work.
シエの使った涅槃を生み出す術の他にも、反言の術というものもある。
Oh, I know. We tried it. It failed. Nakashima and I knew about the one all too well. Yeah.
命を無理やり戻すなんて敬虔な宗教家に言わせれば神のおぼし飯に背く背徳の行為だと言われそうだけれどね。
Mm-hmm.
は
Yoshiki, thank you for your amazing commentary. It's amazing. I appreciate it. Ah. Were you even listening? Kishinuma seemed a bit more confused than he probably should have been, though I suspect the look on my face may have had something to do with that. Don't cry, Ayumi! Don't do it. I performed that spell, the very one Aiko was describing. It took hours, failed miserably, and killed my sister. All at once the guilt returned. I lowered my head solemnly. Aiko grinned at me, and I had the sinking suspicion it was because she somehow knew what I was thinking. Though I couldn't be sure, and I certainly didn't know how she would. Oh, she knows. Look at that smile on her face. She knows.
そんなものはクソくらいよね。冒涜も破壊も何でも来いよ。死んだ友達を生き返らせたいんでしょ。だったらあの本を探し出し、天神小学校でもう一度あの術を行えば成功する可能性は飛躍的に上がるんじゃないかしら。
Well, you're not very reassuring. You're just saying, hey, the chances would be much higher there. Do you think? You should say something like, hey, it'll succeed if you go to Heavenly Host. Like, what are you trying to do here, Aiko? You're just teasing me. That's all you're
おい
doing.
あんた何無責任なこと言ってやがんだ。
Yeah,
ないこ
yeah.
とになったらどうすん。
Voice a reason, thank God. I didn't exactly mean to interrupt Kishinuma, but quite honestly, I didn't even realize he was talking. I was too focused on what Aiko had just said. You gotta listen to Kishinuma! You gotta listen to Yoshiki, Ayumi. Oh, that's your
あな
problem.
たは知っているんですね。私と中島さん。
Watashi no Nakashima-san. My Japanese is amazing. Aiko tilted her head at me, that same wry smile creeping across her face. She'd gone from cold and emotionless to knowing and expressive in a mere instant.
夢幻だったと思っています。 えないものを見てありえない体験をしてで
Yeah.
はいけないこと、あんなこともう忘れたいの。
Hey, good. Let's put it behind you. Game over. We're going home.
現実だった。
Oh, Aiko, stop it! Aiko pointed to the scar on my neck and then went one step further and lightly brushed it with her hand. I could feel that touch deep within my soul. I suddenly found myself swallowing my next breath, practically choking on thin air.
人が本来触れることすらできない。今から逃げられると思う？
Yes! I looked down again, trying my best to avoid Aiko's gaze. Yoshiki, you gotta step in.
そんなことが。
Ayumi, good. Yeah, that's great. And you're crying again, and this girl that you just said like 10 minutes ago, I don't think I can trust her. You're like, hey, I'll trust you. That's good. When as I started crying, you always do. I raised my head again, intent upon looking deep into Aiko's eyes as she answered my question, but she looked so blurry through my tears. I could tell, though, that she was smiling at me. It was that same expression, her new standard.
そんなこと？で、何？
Aiko, I hate you.
みんな。何？あなたの口からちゃんと聞きたいな。
Aiko, I hate you! You're taking advantage of someone who's hurt and broken. Ayumi, last time we heard of this, you failed miserably, and your sister was killed.
よく言えました。
Aiko patted my head as one might at dogs after a successfully performed trick.
黒の本が生み出すのは魔女の英知が起こす奇跡よ。たとえそれが
Oops, that was a little quick, I'm sorry.
であろうともね。あなたは強力な霊能者の家系、篠崎家の末裔。日野江さんがいない今、これはあなたにしかできないことかもしれない。
Hinoe would definitely not want us to do this, Aiko. My confidence was being bolstered by the minute, though in retrospect that was likely Aiko's aim. Nonetheless, if there were still something I could do for my friends...
だけど、肝心のブックオブシャドウズがどこに行ったのかもわからないし、それに幸子を失った天神賞には幸せの幸子さんのおまじないではもういけない？
Yeah, that's true.
と思います。あの学校で菅野由紀ちゃんという女の子に聞きました。
Aiko once again placed the bluish-white Magatama stones from the box in either hand, this time fitting them together, though not quite the way they were supposed to interlock.
そこで
Okay.
それは
That's interesting, so these things will take us there.
ものすごい
Now can they take us out of there?
さすが篠崎の霊具ね。声が教えてくれたわ。これは幸せの石。幸せの石。
I leaned forward despite myself, the name sent a shiver down my spine, but now that I'd heard it, I had to know more.
この石は2つで1つなの。これをパズルのようにくっつけて、涅槃よ、死人を迎えよと唱えれば、触れている者みんながいつでも天神小学校へ飛べるわ。
Okay. Nirvana, I summon the dead. Interesting. We both flinched at her chant, but Aiko just smiled. She must have intentionally oriented the stones the wrong way so the charm wouldn't
戻
activate.
る時も同じ。
She tossed the stone she'd been holding in her right hand into her left, where it clacked together with the other.
不思議でしょ？この子が教えてくれたのよ。
Aiko gazed longingly at the stones. She was clearly, utterly enamored by them. It seemed as if they were the key factors in unleashing her newfound emotional expressiveness. But my focus was elsewhere. Without a doubt, the items Aiko now held in her left hand were extraordinarily dangerous, possibly the most dangerous, horrific objects in the entire world. However, while Aiko was ogling them with her left hand, her right was feeling around for something in her breast pocket. She slowly removed it, producing an old black and white photograph. When had she taken that? It was the same photograph I'd seen at Makina Shinozaki's house the previous night. Yeah, this one. Okay. So Yoshie is the one in the middle, by the way, because Makina was Yoshie's aunt. I just, for some reason, had a brain fart when I was doing that. It depicted a young Yoshie alongside her mother and Makina. So it's Yoshie's mother.
10代だった篠崎義恵は、おばのマキナのことを慕って、よく家に遊びに行っていたそうよ。
This is where we get clarification. Because the game's like, okay, well,
世
Eric,
界
you're
的に
dumb.
有名な霊能師の家系
So I need to remind you.
ここならと。ヤゴーラ教会の生き残り、ヤゴーラの沖縄が危険だからとマルトゥバから盗み出してきたブックオブシャドウズを預けに来たんだけれど、それが揃うと危ないからと 石はマキナが、本はヨシエが預かって保管することに決めたそうよ。
Agora Society, Martubas. I never heard these terms before at all. And then there was that damn Book of Shadows again. Why did that have to keep coming up?
あなたたちはあの学校から篠崎幸子を取り除いた。それによって大きな可能性が
Shut up, Aiko. I don't want to hear about your
こ
opportunity.
れまでのような一方通行ではなく、
Oh, then again, that's pretty
戻ってくる
awesome.
ことができる。この世のものではない異空間心霊スポットが生まれているの。
Well, that's cool. Two-way travel, but maybe she's just lying to us. She thrust the Ever After stones toward me triumphantly and continued to make her pitch, growing more excited by the second. I was legitimately speechless. What could I say? It is cool that we have two-way travel, but it does make it seem a whole lot less dangerous because it's like, well, we're not going to starve to death. Better just go back. Clink!
わかるかしら。まさにあの場所は宝の山よ。
A gold mine for
これま
what?
で眉唾、嘘800と笑われていた霊魂の世界への扉が開いたの。世界中のオカルト研究が一気に加速するわ。
I don't think we should legitimize it, because people are gonna dabble with it and get killed.
私はね、商売としてあの空間へ人を連れて行くツアーコンダクターをやろうと思うの。
What an entrepreneur you are, Aiko. Kishinuma and I both reacted to this preposterous suggestion with a start. She couldn't possibly be serious,
ナ
could
コち
she?
ゃんのブログからは片白のデータは削除したし、あの手段ではもう飛べない。行く方法は
Huh.
私しか持っていない。
Yay, Aiko, congrats. What could she possibly have been thinking? I wanted to stop her at once. I wanted to take those stones and break them right there on the spot before anyone else got hurt. But you want to revive your friends. But
私
I...
はね、ツアーを運営するにあたって安全を確保したいの。
We should just knock her out right here. Hit her with a chair. Yoshiki, hit her with a chair.
あゆみちゃんはお友達の霊を探したいでしょ。だったらあの空間の再調査は共通の目的にならないかしら。
Okay. Aiko leaned in as she spoke. Her breath, scented with the sugary sweetness of the extravagant desserts we'd been eating, tickled my nose.
ね、
Wow,
あ
that's
ゆみ
good.
ちゃん。私たち
She was eating cake and she breathed on my face and it tickled
もう
me.
一度小学校に行ってくれない？本来は片白を引きちぎる方法でツアーをやろうと思っていたんだけど、こんな便利なアイテムが見つかっちゃったんだもの。これはもう運命よ。
Yay! Aiko seemed like she was on top of the world, but that just made me all the more disgusted with her. On the other hand, she was offering me a chance to save our lost friends, and however remote that chance may have been, it stacked the odds frustratingly in her favor. I still couldn't just say yes, but I also couldn't say no. Honestly, I resented Aiko for putting me in this position. I glared at her for a moment before I said anything.
すぐに答えを出せるわけがないでしょ。考えさせてください。
Good answer. I'd almost forgotten Kishinuma was there. Sudden waves of guilt washed over me. He had an absolutely incredulous look on his face. I couldn't bear to see it, so I looked
コブ
away.
シャドウズだってどこにあるかわからないし、そもそもその石だって本当にそんな力があるかもわからない。実際に試したわけじゃないのでしょ。
Aiko smiled. She oriented the two stones so they'd form a perfect yin-yang symbol, then slotted them together once again. Immediately, the stones began glowing with a bluish light hue, and a stream of energy started to form around her.
マジかよ。
Uh-oh, here we go! Aiko continued smiling and looked directly into my eyes.
いいわ、ゆっくり考えて。この石はもちろんまだ試していないからどれだけ危険かわからないしね。
She slowly separated the two stones as she said this, and the energy surrounding her dissipated.
篠崎家の血筋、篠崎マキナの家で発見されたんだもの。きっと信憑性も霊言も新たかな霊具に違いないわ。
Yeah, stop sounding crazy, Aiko, please. The tone of your voice is really creepy.
すげえな。
Yoshiki's gonna
ちょっと
break them.
見せてくれよ。
Kishinuma didn't wait for an answer. He grabbed the Ever After stones from Aiko's hands and began examining
あ
them
の箱の
carefully.
中にこんなものが入ってたとはな。あんたさ、まさかこの石を独り占めしようなんて。
Aiko seemed taken aback by the question. Way to go, Kishinuma. You managed to catch her off
これを
guard.
見つけられたのは半分は篠崎が体張ったおかげなんだろ。
Yeah, there you go. They're ours. Aiko seemed to ponder these words for a moment.
じゃあお互い勝手に行けないように一つずつ持っていましょうか。
Oh, hey, that's a good idea.
わかりました。ちょうだい、岸沼くん。
Or you could just steal them and run away. That's... maybe I would do that, but I would get into trouble. Kishinuma plopped one of the stones in my hand, then slipped the other back into the drawstring pouch Aiko had brought them in and closed it up. He then casually handed the pouch back to its rightful owner.
その気になったら連絡をちょうだい。そうね。サービスとして。
Aiko, you're so creep. Aiko flashed us the biggest, most gregarious smile I could ever seen. I'd ever seen.
一緒に行ってくれるのよね。
I closed my eyes and gave something like a half-hearted half nod, lowering my head without raising it again. It was interpreted as a yes, but I'm not sure I meant it that way.
じゃ、ここは私が出しておくわね。
Aiko got up and grabbed the check.
いえ、私も出します。
I took out my wallet. I had no desire to owe this person anything. Aiko just smiled.
割り勘ってことで。そうそう。これは私からのプ。
What? Aiko handed her thoughtograph to me.
嫌だ
Yay.
わ。そんなに構えないで。これは無料で差し上げるわ。
I got a thoughtograph.
最低だよ、あの人。
Yep.
ああ、
Yep.
鈴本さんや篠原さん、森重くん、ゆい先生、みんなのことが終わったら、この石はすぐに壊すから。
おう、その意見には俺も同感だ。両方ともぶっ壊す案だな。
Yoshiki, come on! You're supposed to be the voice of reason. You're supposed to say, hey, don't go in there. That's bad. Instead, he's like, yeah, let's do it when we're done with our classmates. No! As if he'd been waiting for his cue, Kishinuma pulled the other stone from his pocket. Ah!
死ぬまくん。
あの学校のヤバさも知らねえで浮かれてやがったからな。こっそりいただいてきたぜ。
Nice.
死ぬまくん。すごい悪い人。
Yeah, Kishinuma's got your
緊
back.
急事態によりやむなしだ。けどよ、篠崎。こう言っちゃなんだが。
Yeah, good. Let's talk some
鈴
sense.
本たちのことはもう考えない方がいいんじゃないか。無茶ばっかしてお前がまた死ぬ思いするとかよ。鈴本も結衣先生も篠原も森重もみんなよ。
I agree.
でも、そうじゃないかも。
いい加減にしろ、篠崎。サトシや中島がどんだけお前のこと心配してると思ってんだ。
ごめんなさい。でも、お願い、岸沼くん。もう少しだけでいいから、私の気の済むまでやらせて。
No, Ayumi.
Hey. 行くよ。いいか。一人じゃダメだぞ。
Good. You guys go in as a team. Teamwork. When you combine into one, you will be Captain Planet. That's...
大丈夫だ。
Oh, I should be reading that. I turned my gaze up to meet Kishinuma's. My eyes must have looked like saucers, windows into a mind full of worries, ideas and fears, spurred by this unexpected turn of
す
events.
ぐ連絡しろよ。前みたいに目つぶって突っ走って勝手に死にそうになってんじゃねえぞ。
Call me, baby.
俺だってお前一人くらい守れる自信はあんだからよ。
Of course, I will kick a ghost's ass for you, Ayumi. Kishinuma patted me on the head reassuringly as he said this, and I had no idea how to react. I felt warm and safe, but also a little annoyed, much like a younger sister being simultaneously comforted and scolded by her big brother. All I could say in response was, I love you, sweetie. Oh, never mind. I could feel my eyes still bulging from my head, opened as far as my eyelids would allow. I imagined how I must have appeared to Kishinuma and was momentarily embarrassed.
んじゃ、そろそろ帰るとするか。
Good. Everything's gonna be okay. Hey, who are you? He's late. Seriously, what is he thinking? That boy needs a boot to the head, I swear! I don't need anything. Let's check the garbage. Yeah, I could have sworn I just saw something moving under the trash can. That's creepy. That's really creepy. Okay, let's go home. Where's home? Ready to head home? Not just yet! Wow. This is some serious gameplay we got going on here. I get to run around and talk to Yoshiki and say, yes, I will go home. Well, I can run far away. Aha! I ran across the road for no reason, Yoshiki. How do you feel about that? Where are all the people? The streets seem unusually quiet. Is it just because of the late hour? Ooh. Yeah, what's going on? Sick gameplay. I shouldn't say that. Eric, don't be jaded. Don't be a jaded prick. Yeah, she gets tired pretty quick, huh? Yeah, let's go home. Come on then, let's go. Now loading creepy face. Oh, she's in high spirits. Usually she fights with her mom.
今日の変死速報です。死亡した岡部さんは背骨が折れた状態で都内のこの場所で発見され。
Another broken spine. I wondered, what are these people doing? A Tokyo map was displayed on the television screen marked with 2 red dots. The marquee at the bottom provided the headline, "Sudden violent deaths remain unexplained." Ooh, oh my god, Ayumi bath time! Oh my god, CG image, holy shit, hands above the table. Without thinking, I left the socks I just removed from my feet on the living room floor and began walking toward the bathroom. Hey, whatever. Are you saying my feet smell bad or something, Mom? My feet smell like roses. Ayumi's feet smell like beautiful flowers. This was a bad habit of mine, so ingrained within me that it had almost become ritual. Mom did well to have caught it so quickly, I grabbed my socks and left the room. It might just work. Yeah, it just might work. Keyword, might. I set my bag down in my room and quickly automatically grabbed my sweatpants and spats and made a beeline for the bathroom. When I got there, I threw my socks into the hamper with purpose, then began peeling off my school uniform. As I observed myself in the mirror, I began to murmur. Very important CG scene. Okay, we gotta check out Ayumi undressing. Very important for the story. Those burn marks on my neck. Oh, I guess it's trying to show that. Those burn marks on my neck and arms were eternal reminders of what I'd been through at the Shinozaki estate. I could clearly remember the agony I went through as they formed. I remember watching them sear into my flesh out of thin air, blood spurting from them as if I'd been knifed. I only survived because Hinoe sacrificed herself in my place. Good, yeah. Hinoe sacrificed herself for me, so I can live a happy life and leave this kind of life behind. So I must go back into Heavenly Host. That's cool. I tried to force self-confidence into my expression. When it wouldn't come, I slapped my cheeks hard. It was in me somewhere. I just needed to be yanked out into the open. Do your best. Do your best. I agree. If you're good, at least if you're gonna do it, do your best at it. She farted! Oh my god. Oh, never mind. She put her head into the water. I just heard the bubbles, okay? I lowered my head into the water ever so lightly, blowing bubbles in the water with my mouth. The pros and cons of returning to Heavenly Host were racing through my head. Yeah. Oh, you can bring him back. Focus.
Book of Shadows no Arika da?
Get! I don't want your friggin' gum! Get the hell out of here, you useless piece of crap! This was just about the last thing I expected. I couldn't help but scream. It was that same boy who'd found his way into my room last time wearing the exact same clothes. He spoke to me without once turning his head to look in my direction. Yes, mystery man! He smiled, still facing away from me. It was a confident yet sinister grin. Are you part of the Wiccan Institute? Okay. Nice, good. My face had to have been as red as fire by this point. Titless? Man, that's so rude, mystery man. My head felt like it now housed all the blood from my entire body. I imagined myself white as a sheet below the neck and flashing red above it on the verge of a megaton explosion.
よく聞け。ブックオブシャドウズは涅槃の中に戻ってる。
So it's at Heavenly
篠崎家で
Host.
失敗したあの時に
Well, that's
ほら
good. He handed me the photograph from Aiko.
これが何だっていうのよ。
よく見ろ、不思議な女。ここだ、ここ。
I grabbed the photograph from his hands as aggressively as I could muster, then backed away slightly, putting as much distance between me and him as humanly possible. It was definitely the same picture of the little girl holding the hatchet that Aiko had shown us earlier, but I now noticed that she was holding something in her other hand too. It was a hardbound book around the size of a typical desk dictionary, and though I could barely make it out, there was a certain aura to it that looked an awful lot like a face. Yep. Well, that's a Book of Shadows then. So we're just gonna have to pry it from that girl's hands that has the hatchet. That's good. Things are looking up for us.
もう一度涅槃。いや、天神小学校と言った方がいいか。すぐにあそこへ飛んでその本を手に入れろ。
Talk faster, mystery
お前
man.
の願いも
My wish will come true. He stuck out his hand and pointed directly at my face, then slowly lowered it down toward my abdomen. He was now inexplicably pointing at my lower body, but as soon as I started to get self-conscious, he flipped his hand over and opened it, exposing his palm. There was another piece of 10 yen gum. Stop giving me your gum! I don't want your friggin' gum! The same kind as before. I'm not sure why I took it, but I did without even thinking. As soon as the exchange was made, he immediately turned toward the bathroom window, apparently prepared to make his escape.
何者なの？
Ask about the gum! Don't even ask who you are, say, hey, why do you keep giving me gum? I'm more interested in that answer. My question seemed to stop him in his tracks. Yeah, please, stop giving me gum and then leaving. That's so rude. I wasn't about to drop my guard, especially given the obvious advantage this boy had over me. But he didn't seem like he'd come to attack me or anything. Rather, it was almost like he was trying to lead me somewhere, to show me the way.
まだ話せない。
He turned his head toward me just enough that I could catch a brief glimpse of the eyes beyond his hood. They were ice blue in color, but gentle and sincere. He smiled once more as he leaped out the bathroom window. I was kind of dumbfounded. I had no idea how to process what had just happened.
どうしたの、あゆみ？大丈夫？
Just a creepy guy came in and gave me gum. Don't worry. It's the gum fairy came for me. Mom barged into the bath brandishing a broom. It was probably the first thing she could find with which to fend off potential intruders. Too bad she hadn't been just a moment quicker. Yeah, it is too bad. She could have fended off the gum fairy. That's his new name. Mysterious man, it's not good enough. All I could do was squat on the cold bathroom floor and stare at her with hollow eyes. There was no way to adequately explain any of this to her. Interesting. The gum fairy has struck again. It was late at night and I still hadn't bothered changing out of my school uniform. I needed food though, so I decided to hit up the convenience store on my way back home. I picked up a bottle of olives, a pack of tofu, some mineral water, and other various things to keep me going for a while. I could hardly believe it. There was actually an occult section at the damn mini-mart, with all kinds of stupid stuff like spirit talisman magnets and anti-demon wards. I grabbed one off the shelf at random and looked at the company logo on the backside, PL Promotions Co. For these last 2 months we'd gotten back from Heavenly Host, it seemed like there was a real spiritual boom going on all over the world. Whenever there'd be a strange death or something, the public would be all over it, downright excited about the possibility that it might be supernatural in nature. That's cool. It was all over TV shows and magazines too, with independent researchers checking out spiritual hotspots and giving fancy new age advice to people just to boost ratings or sales. And now this exorcism merchandise next to prepackaged cupcakes and ready-made dinners.
コンビニでお札が買える時代かよ。ちょっと前までならこんなもの見ても気持ち悪いって笑えたんだろうけど。
It sure isn't.
こんなの本物相手に聞くのかよ。
The item I was examining happened to be one of the spirit talisman magnets, seemingly the last one in stock. Harumph! An old lady suddenly reached around me from behind and yanked it right out of my hands. Oh, stop grunting, you're weird! She glowered at me for a moment before taking her prize over to the register. When I just stood there staring blankly at her, she walked away.
なんだかよ。
Well, that's weird.
ありがとうございました。
That's weird. Okay, hey, is there a candle anywhere? Candle, what did I just do? Okay, I guess we're going home. Let's skedaddle. Bedaddle. My prattle. My booby daddle.
菱沼くん、
Yes.
篠崎。何してんだこんな時間に。
ごめんね。 こんな遅くに。アルバイト？
ああ、今日は遅番だったからな。で、まさかずっと待ってたのか？
Part-time in Korean and Japanese is the same. I just arabait. Arabait in Korean. Arabaito in Japanese. That's cool.
平気。
I learn something new all the time. It was actually a really chilly night. I could see Shinozaki's breath dissipating around her chin in short, frequent
平気じ
bursts.
ゃねえだろ。震えてんじゃねえか。嫌じゃなければ寄ってけよ。
Yeah, let's do it. We're going to Heavenly Host. My room was on the second floor of the apartment building. I hadn't been expecting guests, but I had just tidied up for my own sake a little while back, so it was fairly presentable. Hey, your room's pretty sweet for a high school student. You got an HD TV and a computer. Shinozaki immediately sat down on my bed and began sipping the tea I'd made for her. She was holding it in both hands, probably less for politeness and more just to warm them up.
だろ？妹がいつも送ってくんだよ。いい茶葉らしい。
The sound of a large truck driving by seemed to catch her off guard. She was clearly a bit jittery, unsurprising all things
こんな時間ま
considered.
で工事してるんだ。
ああ、年末近くになるとこういう意味のない工事増えるな。うるさいわ、眩しいわで寝れやしねえよ。
大変。
Time passes by at a snail's pace. Shinozaki continued to sip her tea, never once removing either hand from the warm cup. She definitely had something on her mind. Something had happened. It was written all over her
親に
face.
断ってきてんのか？
ううん。連絡は大丈夫。
そうか。
Shinozaki was in my room. I dreamed about this before, but never thought it would actually happen.
なんだ？いや、どうしたんだよ、こんな遅くに。なんかあったのか？
Okay.
はあ？今から展示場に行くだ？
I was half acting as admittedly this wasn't entirely unexpected. Shinozaki may be a lot of things, but unpredictable is not among
お
them.
願い。
で、この石を取りに来たのか？
Yeah, she just didn't want to see you. I took out the Ever After Stone and
い
sold
い
it for
か、
Aiko.
篠崎。確かにこの石はさっき光ってたし、何か力はあるかもしれねえ。また出られなくなって、下手したら今度こそ死んじまう。そうなりゃ、ここでのお前の存在まで消えちまうかもしれねえんだぞ。
I tried to be as strong and commanding as I could possibly muster. I needed her to realize what a bad idea this
私の
was.
存在なんていい。それより、みんなを救いたい
Yeah,
の。
but people care about you, Ayumi.
救う？
黒の本、ブックオブシャドウズのありかが分かったの。
さっき言ってた。
Yeah, it's inside.
見て。
She had that thoughtograph thing from Aiko with her and was pointing to the little girl's left arm. You're gonna have to pry it from the ghost girl with a hatchet. That's not good.
私たち、実はもうさっき見えていたのよ。
That's not good. It's gonna be tricky. I didn't have to look very hard to see it, but
本か。確かに持ってるな。それで？
ないけど。でも、多分間違いないと思う。
多分ってお前。
天神賞へはね、この本を取り戻しに行くの。そしたら、みんなの魂を涅槃から解き放てる。
Yoshiki, are you actually gonna agree to this? How could I argue with that? There were so many assumptions being made, but she was so sure of herself, so certain that this would work. She wasn't about to listen to reason. Shinozaki shook her head furiously like some sort of violent shudder. That was an image of Mayu when they resurrected her with the Book of Shadows and it all went to shit. It almost seemed like she was trying to shake something loose from her mind.
そもそもこんな石で本当に展示所に行けるのか？
I agree.
それは試してみなきゃだけれど。でももしまた天神賞に行けたら、みんなの魂がそこにあるんだから。
篠崎。
See, I think Aiko just wanted us to like test this to see if it would work. And she's using us, and she let Yoshiki steal it. She still had deep scars all along her arms, legs, and neck. Anyone could tell at a glance that she just recovered from a serious accident. She sounded so self-assured, so self-confident, but it was hard to take any of that seriously. This was the first time in my life I'd found myself tearing up over someone and not being embarrassed that I was crying. Honestly, it surprised even me how deeply I cared about Shinozaki and how much I just didn't want to lose her. My eyes were getting hot and glazed and I felt utterly helpless.
誰にも話せないけど。
Of course! He has to be there with you. You go crazy easily. I was at a complete loss for words. I found myself literally scratching my head trying to come up with a good answer. This was Shinozaki, and she had come to me for moral support, for encouragement, for peace of mind. It was really the first time she'd ever truly relied on me, ever truly counted on me. I knew then what I had to do.
もうよ、あのクソ学校であんな目にあって帰ってきたんだ。今さら何があっても驚きゃしねえよ。
Nice.
理解はできないけどな。できないままに俺は決めたことがある。
It's cause Yoshiki's like, and that's cause I'm a badass.
決めたこと？
ああ。何があっても。
Nice. Man, so badass. Come on, give him a hug at least. Shinozaki and I stared into each other's eyes for a moment, each of us trying to figure the other out.
大丈夫だ。
I tried to force a smile. Shinozaki had basically curled up into a ball at this point, and her tiny body collapsed in on itself for support, but now all of a sudden she unfurled herself and glared at me. I couldn't tell if she was mad or happy or what. Her eyes were either like daggers or saucers. I couldn't really make out which. Maybe she'd come here expecting me to actively shoot down her ideas or something. Maybe she thought she'd be alone in this. Maybe she'd figured out what I was up to. Or maybe she'd been expecting me to say exactly what I'd said to her, and maybe it annoyed her. Either way, tears began to explode from her eyes so quickly that red bags were forming under them almost instantly. She then turned her back to me, all with one seemingly unconscious spin of her body.
Huh? どうした篠崎？
あのね、昼間私の頭
She seemed like she was trying her hardest not to let herself cry, though it wasn't exactly working.
んなことした。
You did.
あれだけど
She paused, seemingly waiting for me to answer, but I had no idea what to say and absolutely didn't want to say the wrong thing, so I just stood there like a dolt.
覚えてないなら
Whatever. Finally, she turned back to face me, her tears mostly dry, still a little self-conscious about crying, though she kept her eyes closed, a telltale frown belying her confidence. There was obviously something between the lines for me to read here, but hell if I knew what it was, because she's starting to feel for you.
ああ。お前の持ってる石の片割れ。
Shinozaki removed the Ever After Stone from her pocket and placed it squarely in my hand. I positioned it next to my stone and stared intently at the two. This was the turning point. What I did next could decide our fates. I couldn't mess this up. Outside my window, I could still hear the sound of construction vehicles driving by. It was now or never. In as close to one solid motion as I could manage, I opened my window and chucked the two stones out into the road. Holy shit! Oh, Yoshiki! Oh no! Oh god! I timed it perfectly and my aim couldn't have been better. Another truck was just about to pass by and the stones were immediately in its path. The sound I heard next was a satisfying crunch. It was the sound of delicate glass-like rocks breaking into tiny pieces. Shinozaki had rushed over to the window and directly witnessed the fate of the Ever After stones. As soon as the truck drove over them, she collapsed to her knees. Yoshiki, my god, man! Oh, you pissed her off. Uh-oh. I couldn't even finish my sentence before Shinozaki's palm slammed my face with an incredible force. The loud smack of flesh on flesh echoed throughout the room. The side of my face was immediately in pain. I began rubbing it with my hand as I looked into Shinozaki's eyes. Her face was filled with tears and her nose was running. She was breathing so heavily her shoulders were bobbing up and down. I agree. Yeah, god damn it, Yoshiki, man! I thought you were so cool. I mean, I know you're trying to protect her and all, because you think what she's doing is stupid, but at the same time, we have a horror game here, please, and we gotta go into Heavenly Host and experience the horrors of Heavenly Host. Thank you very much. Just can't believe you'd do that. Huh. It was my turn to fire back now. I was certain I'd done the right thing.
何のプランもなしに行ってまた死ぬ思いするだけだろ嫌い何よバカアホうよ
Whoa, Ayumi, calm down. Yeah, Ayumi makes so many mistakes and she wants to fix them, but the people that she's made the mistakes about, like, the people that have died probably don't want her to fix it. They just want her to live her life, right? Leaving me with those hurtful words, Shinozaki then pushed past me and ran out of my room, crying like a child the whole way. I stood back up again, rubbing my cheek where I'd been slapped. Yeah, that was pretty bad, man. Ouch. Well, you're gonna need to buy some super glue. Okay, can I friggin' save my game? Whatever, I gotta end the episode here anyways, okay? It's gone a long enough. I was looking for a save point so I could end the episode like 10 minutes ago, but this is the game of no save points, okay? That's what I'm gonna call it, the no save point game. Anyways, guys, really hope you enjoyed. In the next episode, I'm gonna play a long episode like this, a long video. Maybe we'll get to the end of the episode 1, maybe we won't. I have no idea how long these are gonna be, but sit tight and wait for it. I'll try to upload this frequently. This is gonna be a main focus on the channel, this and Fatal Frame that comes out soon. My next video might be Fatal Frame, I'm not sure. It depends on how long it takes to download. Anyways, whatever. I really hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, it helps me out immensely. I'll see you in the next one. As always, guys, peace.